Hello all. So in this lecture we'll see about calculating blocking factor, number of block access problems. So in the second module usually this kind of question will come. When you do physical file organization, how that is stored in the hard disk, so how many number of blocks will be required, so how for searching how many block will be required, how many block access will be needed for searching some element. So all such kind of problems will come. So it is very easy to do such problem. You have to learn only two simple formulas. So this is the model question that I will be solving. So this is available in your syllabus. There was model question in the model question paper. It is given. So we have an employee with this number of. You will see this question later. So okay, before going into this, you have to understand some basic things. So we have some fixed and variable length records. Let it be records itself. You have to understand what is a record. So record is something that will be stored. For example, if you have name, social security number, so this is a record of that employee. So you'll be storing these details like this name. It will take some 12 bytes. Then for SSN, it will be we'll be using some 18 or 90 some 8 bytes, sorry, 8 or 9 bytes. Salary, it will be 5 bytes. Job code, you will be using 4 bytes. Like that, there will be several number of bytes that will be used for every field. So the total record size, so for each record you will be requiring this number of bytes. So if I want to store 100 records, I'll be requiring 100 into this much. If I'm taking 50 bytes, 100 into 50, I'll be requiring 500 sorry 5000 bytes of memory. Okay, so this is what is a record. So this will be a record. This will be called as a record. Okay. Now we will see what is this record blocking. So records of a file must be allocated to disk block. So we have to store these records in the disk block or the secondary disk. So when the block size is larger than the record size, each block will contain numerous record. So in the disk block, we will divide the disk into several blocks. A disk will be divided into maybe 1000 blocks. So the size of each block will be larger, of course, larger than the record size. For example, the block size is 500 and our record size is 50. Okay, then you can store 10 records in a single block. Okay, so each block will contain numerous records. So block size, the disk block size will be larger than the record size. So if the block size is B bytes, I have mentioned that if you are using some 500 bytes for this block size, then and the record size is R bytes, capital R bytes, and B, this block size is greater than that record size. So for example, B, for our example block, our record size is 50 bytes. So 500 is greater than or equal to 50. Okay, so block size is 500 bytes and record size is just 50 bytes. So in that block we can store 10 bytes. Okay, we can store, sorry, 10 records. In that block we can store 10 records. Okay, so we can fit, we call that as BFR. So how many records that can be stored in a block is given by the formula B by R. So B is the block size and by R. So in the previous case it is 500 by 50. So we can fit 10. Okay, now we have a symbol like this. So this is known as floor symbol, floor value. That is, if we are, for example, instead of B as 500, if we take B as 512, then 512 divided by 50, we will get it as 10 point something. So in that case, if there's a decimal value, we have to take the floor value. That means if it is 10.2, we have to take it as 10. Even if it is 10.8, we have to take it as 10. Okay, so we have to take the floor value. So this symbol denotes floor value. Okay, so this is known as BFR or blocking factor value. Okay, BFR, blocking factor records. So this is denoted by BFR equal to B this block size divided by the length of that record. Length of that record gives a number of records per block. So this is one formula you have to remember. This is very simple. So block size divided by the size of the records will give you the BFR value. We call it as blocking factor. Okay, blocking factor. Then there is another formula. Sometimes questions will come to calculate the unused space in each block. So maybe in the previous example, we have taken 512 bytes and the R size is 50. So 512 divided by 50, you can store 10 records and 12 bytes is unused. We cannot use it because 50 bytes will be required to store a record. We have only 12 bytes. So that 12 bytes is unused space. So we can calculate that 12 bytes using this formula. B minus BFR into R. That is simple. So in this previous case, BFR was 10, into R it was 500. R is 50, 10 into 50 it is 500. B is 512, 512 minus 500, we will get 12 bytes. So 12 bytes will be unused. Okay. Then we have to calculate another formula we have to remember is this one, number of blocks B needed for a file of R records. So how many blocks will be needed for a file if that file has R records? So in a file, record means we have already seen. If I want to store a student detail like Adira's details, that is called a single record. Now I have 60 records. Those whole 60 records will be together known as a file. So how many blocks will be required for that file of R number of records? In our example, if there are 60 students, we have R equal to 60. So we need to store 60 records. So how many blocks will be required? So it is given by this formula B equal to R by BFR. So R we have we know the number of records and divide by BFR is a blocking factor value. So this is sealing off. This is sealing off. It means that if we get a value 10.2, it should be taken as 11. Even if we get 10.9, you have to take it as 11. So even if it is 10.1, you have to take it as 11. So that is known as sealing. So B equal to seal function. This is known as seal function R by BFR blocks. So only these formulas. The main important formula how to calculate BFR and how to calculate the number of blocks required. So with these two formula we can solve any problem. Okay, sometimes if you want to calculate unused space, you can simply use this formula. So using these three formula, you can simply solve such problems. Okay. So spanned records and unspanned records, you have to understand. So span records. So this is an example. You leave all this text matter, you will see this one. So this is unspanned record. Okay. So this is if the record size is larger than a single block, then what happens is we have to link. For example, here records are here record 1, record 2, 3 are stored in one block. Another record 4, 5, 6 is stored in another block. Now here record 1, record 2, record 3 is stored here. Record for part of record 4 is stored here. Okay, and we have a pointer to the next block. The rest of the record 4 is stored in this block. So we have a pointer. So this is spanned records. So this is known as spanned record and this is known as unspanned record. So if you are storing in separate blocks, then it is known as unspanned. And this is spanned record. So you have to understand the two words spanned and unspanned. Spanned means we can have this kind of thing. So we can, even if there is some space remaining in this block, we can store part of the block, part of the record, and the rest can be stored in another block. Then if we are not storing, records not allowed to cross block boundaries. So in this case it is known as unspanned. So these two blocks are unspanned records. So when you store in the secondary without indexing, it will be something like this. So block 1 we will have some records, block 2 we will have some records, block 3 will have some records. Like that there will be n number of blocks storing all these records. So this is one record. Okay. Now it may not be sorted. So this is actually sorted. It may not be sorted. It is sorted in the base of name. It may not be sorted at all. Okay. So this is, we will come to an example. So it actually gets you 9 marks. You need just 2 minutes to do this problem. So only thing you have to remember is these two formula. BFR is equal to B by R, blocking factor, BFR value, and this number of blocks required, B equal to R by FR. Now we will read the question. So we have an employee file, and in that employee file we have to store 1000 records. Sorry, 10,000 records. That is, there are 10,000 employees working in that company, and each record size is 80 bytes. So for each employee record to be stored, we require 80 bytes. That is name, social security number, all those will require 80 bytes. Then the file is sorted. So it is sorted. So it is like something like this. So file is sorted on employee number. Here we have sorted based on name. So it is sorted based on SSN. So the file is sorted on employee number, and the employee number is 15 bytes long, and it is a primary key. Okay. Now assuming an unspanned organization and block size of 512 bytes, compute the number of block access needed for selecting records based on employee number if no index is required, if single level primary indexing is required, multi-level primary indexing is required. We have to assume the block pointer size as 6 bytes. So this is our question. So we will see how to solve one by one. So we will see the first one. First case, it is no index is used. So we are not using any index. So it will look like this. So there is no indexing. We are simply storing everything. Now how many blocks will be, number of blocks that will be required to get an element, to store those records. Okay. So we have 1000 records. So we need to store in this blocks. Okay. In this blocks. So how many blocks will be required? Okay. And we have, it is given like this. So we will find the solution for the first case. Here R equal to 80. So here it is no index, there is no index. So here R equal to 80. R equal to 80 means record size is given. So record size, it is 80. So we know R. So fix R is actually fix size of the record. So record, it is given, it is 80 bytes. Okay. So that is given there. So we can calculate BFR. So BFR is equal to floor value of B by R. No, we know the B value. B value is also given in the question. B, block size, B is 512 bytes. So we have to simply calculate floor of B by R. Floor, it means floor of 512. B is block size is 512. B is 512 divided by R is 80. So it gives floor of 6.4. So floor of 6.4, we have to take it as 6. So it is 6 records per block. It means that we can store 6 records in each block. Okay. Now what you have to calculate? We have to calculate total number of blocks that will be required. So number of blocks needed for the file, it is given by this formula, ceiling of. So this is actually ceiling of. So ceiling of R by F, B by F, R by BFR. So R by BFR, so small r by BFR, ceiling. So small r, we have to store 10,000 records. So small r denotes number of records in the file. It is 10,000. And BFR we have already calculated by, it is 6. So 10,000 by 6, it is 6 seal of 166.66666, like that it will go on. Now we have to take the ceiling value. Ceiling value means we have to take the next value. If it is decimal, we have to take the next value. So it should be 1667 blocks. So in order to store 10,000 records, we require 1667 blocks, because we can store only 6 records per block. So this many number of blocks will be required. So this is the first question. This is the answer to the first question. So if we are not using any index, then we require this much number of blocks. Now second question. Second question is single level primary indexing is used. So that is, we will create an index file. So we will see what is an index file. I have already taken in a video. So I'll just briefly see what is this, mention what is this primary indexing. So primary indexing, what we do is we'll have an index file. So this is the actual data file. This is the, you just forget about this thing. So this is the actual, without any indexing, the data will be stored in different blocks like this. Now what we do is we create an index file. Index file means it will contain the key value. So in this case, the key, we are taking it as name, and we have the block pointer. So we'll create an index file like this. So Aaron and the block pointer is this one. So it will point to this block, and Adams John will point to this block. So meaning that between Aaron and between Adams there will be many number of records. So all those records will be stored in this block, and between Adams and Alexander everything will be stored in this block. So what we do is, if we want to access a record, we will simply search this index file. We can make it faster. That's what is happening here. So this is ordered. So index file is ordered. So we can simply perform binary search on this. We can get the particular, if we want to search Angel Joe. So if we want to get the details of Angel Joe, so what we do is we'll do a binary search and we'll get Anderson. So Anderson and Arnold. It is between Angel Joe's is between Anderson and Arnold. So it is in this block. It will be available. So you can simply search in this and you will get the person's details. So this is known as primary indexing. So we will create an index file. So in the previous case, there is no index file. So records will be stored like this. Here, records will be stored like this, and we provide an indexing like this. So we have to calculate the same question. So if we are using this, so number of block access that will be needed. So we can use the same formula and calculate all these things. So here the employee number is 15 bytes. So because we are using the key as employee number, here it is name. In this example it is name, but in the question it is given as 15 employee number, and it is 15 bytes long. So it is 15 bytes long. So here employee number equal to 15 bytes. So we have to take that also. Plus we require this block pointer size, which is 6 bytes. So why we take this is because this is the actual size. This is actually the employee number, that will be 15, and the block pointer, it is given in the question, it is 6 bytes. So 15 plus 6, 21. So we need to store this index file also in a disk block. So we have to calculate the number of blocks required for this index block plus number of blocks required for this data file. So that is why we are calculating this. So we have to calculate the size of this records that should be stored. So we have to calculate the size of this index file also. So in the previous case, we have to calculate only the data files. Now we have to calculate the size of the index file also. So that is why we are taking this employee number 15 bytes, and blocks pointer size should be taken. So index blocking factor we have to calculate, and it is known as fan out, BFR, for that index file. BFR equal to, so index blocking factor BFR can be calculated. So we have to first calculate index blocking factor BFR. So that can be calculated. So before that, we have to calculate the record size. BFR, we know the formula for BFR. It is capital B by capital R. So capital B we already know, it is 512, but capital R, it is different now. So here the R is 15 plus 6. So this is actually for the index file. So we have to calculate for index file. So in the index file, the size of one record or one index is 15 plus 6, it is 21 bytes. So record size will be 21 size. So if there are 100 indexes, then 100 into 21, that much number of records have to be stored. So for one index file, so for the first one record, it is 21 bytes. Then we have to calculate the index blocking factor. We call it as fan out also, FO, fan out. It is equal to the same formula, floor of B by R. Here 512 divided by this 21. Okay, so index size is 21. So we get floor of 24.38. So we have to take it as 24. Now number of first level index entries are, so how many index entries are there? So we have already calculated it in the previous case. If we calculate this, we'll get the same thing. So we require, so we have 512 block size. We have the RS 80, so 6 records per block. And if we have 10,000 records, so this is actually the data file. So data file 10,000 by 6, we'll get it as 1677 blocks. So you have to take this value here. So we are creating index for that data file. So we have already calculated number of first level index entries will be number of file blocks. So that it will be 1667 entries. Now number of first level index blocks equal to C of R by BFR. So it is given by R is the number of entries, it is 1667. It is equal to 167 divided by 24. It is equal to seal of 69.4 of. Since it is sealing, we have to take it as 70 blocks. So we require 70 blocks. Okay. So 70 blocks will be required for that indexing. Okay. Okay. Next. Then the third question is multi-level indexing. So this is actually two-level indexing. So in multi-level indexing, this is the actual data file. We create an index first, we call it as first or base level indexing, and again we create another indexing to index this file, these files. So index this block, we will create an index. For this block, we will create another index. Like that, we can create another level. Again, if you want, you can create another third level of indexing. So it is also possible. So this is actual data file. We know it is 1667 blocks will be required for this one. And this one also we have already calculated. That is 70 blocks will be required. Now we have to calculate for rest of the blocks. Okay, we will see one by one. So the same question, multi-level primary indexing is used. So what we have to do is, we have to calculate number of second level index entries. We can call it as R2. It is equal to number of first level. So we have already calculated it in the previous question. We have already calculated that 70 blocks. Now we are going to create index for this 70 blocks. So we have 70 entries. Now we have to calculate secondary level. We are going to create indexing for the 70 entries. So it is B2. It is equal to seal of R2 by BFR. We get it as 70 by 24. So 24, we have already calculated this value. So this is this 24. So we have to take this 24. Okay. So 70 by 24, it is seal of 2.91. So since it is sealing function, we have to use 3 blocks. For secondary indexing, we require 3 blocks. That is, here we require to store this file, we require 3 blocks. And for to store this one, we require 70 blocks. Okay. So for this one, we require 1667 blocks. This one 70. Then for indexing this one for the secondary level, we require 3 blocks. Again, if you want, you can index for this one. So we will see that one also. Since it's multi-level, we can have any number of levels. So second level indexing, we require 3 blocks. Now if you, for how many required for third level indexing? So it is equal to R3 equal to number of secondary, that is we require to have 3 entries. Now we calculate the same formula, seal of R3 by BFR. Here R3 is 3 divided by the same previous size 24. So R by 3 by 24, it is equal to 1. Okay. So we require 1 block for third level, then 3 blocks for second level, and 70 blocks for first level. And for data file, 1667 entries. Since the third level has only 1 block, it is at the top level. So the index has 3 levels. We can say that multi-level indexing, we have 3 levels. So total number of blocks for the index that will be required equal to B1 plus B2 plus B3. So 70 plus 3 plus 1. So that is, in the first block we want to search, one block access will be needed. Then the second level we will have 3 blocks, and in the primary indexing we will have 70 blocks. So total number of blocking will be required, number of blocks that will be required will be 74 blocks. Okay. And number of block access to search for a particular record will be x plus 1. So x is equal to 3 levels. So we have to search in first this one first, then in this one, and this one is the actual record. Okay, that is why 3 plus 1, it is 4. So first in the third level we will be searching, so that is one block access. Then in the secondary we will be searching, that is second block access. In the primary we will be searching, that is the third access. Then the actual data file, that is denoted by this 1. So total number of block access to search for a particular record will be 4 block access. Okay. So this is a reference, and I will show one more example. So this example is available in the drive folder that I have already shared in different videos. You can see that file name. So that file name is blockexamples.pdf. Blockexamples.pdf. You can see 2 or 3 questions more. So you can see this question here. So I will show another example. Here we have a consider disk with block size. It is 512 bytes here. Block pointer is given p equal to 6. Now record pointer is also given, which is 7 bytes long. Now a file which has 30,000 employee records of fixed length is there. Now each record, here the record size is not given. Instead, the record fields are given, like name, it requires 30 bytes, SSN 9 bytes, department code 9 bytes, like that, all these things. So first thing we have to calculate is record size. In the previous question, R was given as 80 bytes. Here R is not given. So how to calculate the record size first? So R record size is given by the sum of these bytes. So in order to store a single record, we need to store all these elements. So 30 plus 9 plus 9 plus 940 plus, all this sum will give the record size. So 115 bytes will be required to store one record. Okay, like that we have 30,000 employee records. Okay. Then we have to calculate, as in the previous case, we have to calculate BFR, calculate the blocking factor and the number of file blocks if it is unspanned organization. So blocking factor, we know the formula, BFR equal to floor of B by R. So it is given by 512 divided by R is 115. So we require 4 records. So we can store 4 records per block. Okay. Now number of blocks needed for the file, it is given by ceiling of the second formula, R by BFR. So here R is given here, R is 30,000. So 30,000 divided by BFR, we have already calculated it. It is 4. So we have already calculated BFR as 4. So it is 7,500. So 7,500 blocks will be required to store the data. Okay, 7,500 blocks. The hard disk will be required to store the data alone. That is this 30,000 records alone. Now if we have a primary indexing mechanism using the SSN value. So we are going to index using SSN. So SSN, the size of SSN is 9 bytes. So in the previous example we have seen employee number, it is 15 bytes. Here SSN, it is 9 bytes. Now we can calculate the index blocking factor. Now we are going to calculate the index blocking factor as in the previous example, or fan out F4. So for that we have to calculate the index record size. So it is given by the size of SSN value. So that is 9 bytes. So it is given here, SSN is 9 bytes plus this P value. So P is actually block pointer. So it is also given, P equal to 6 bytes. So 9 plus 6, it is 15 bytes for one record in the index file. Now for the whole index file, so we have to calculate the index blocking factor BFR, which is given by floor of B by R, that is 512 divided by 15. So we require 34. So the blocking factor it is 34. So the blocking factor is 34. Now we have to calculate how many indexes are there. So how many number of blocks will access will be required. So number of first level index entries and the number of first level index blocks should be calculated. So number of first level index entries R1 is given by number of file blocks. So we have already calculated it, that is 7000 entries will be there. Now we are going to calculate number of index blocks that will be required. It is given by R1. So we have already calculated this R1. It is 7500 divided by BFR. So we have calculated BFR as 34. So 7500 by 34, it is given by 221 blocks. So 221 blocks is required for the first level indexing. Now if it is multi-level indexing, we can have any number of indexing. So this is first level indexing. So this is primary indexing. So if you are following primary indexing, we require 221 blocks to store that indexes. That is also calculated. Now if you are storing, if the number of levels, multi-level indexing is used, then we have to extend the same thing further. So number of second level indexes. So we are going to index this primary file. So we have to index this 221 blocks. So here R2 will be number of first blocks, it is equal to B1 and be taken as 221. Now we can calculate the second level indexing B2 equal to ceiling of R2 by BFR1. So it is given by R2 will be, we have already mentioned it is 221. So 221 divided by the same BFR value that you have taken, 34. So it is 7 blocks. So second level indexing requires 7 blocks. Now if you want to have third level, so we have to take R3. So R3 will be equal to, we have to index the 7 blocks. So it will be 7 entries. So number of will be calculated using the ceiling of R3. R3 we have already taken 7 by BFR. It is 7 by 34. It is 1. So we can stop. Further indexing is not possible. Since the third level has only one block, it is a top index level. So the index has 3 levels. Okay. Now total number of blocks required by the multi-level indexing is given by the sum of the previous one, 227 plus 7 plus 1 equal to 229 blocks. Now the number of blocks access needed to search or retrieve from a record using the primary indexing, it is equal to number of block access to each record, that is x. Since we have 3 levels, 3 plus 1, it is 1 denotes the actual data byte. So 3 plus 1 equal to 4. And there is another example also. So it is there the drive, you can download and see the same question. So it is actually secondary indexing example. So you can calculate the same formula, the same two formula. With this formula you can calculate everything and simply calculate the total number of box access that will be required. Okay. So there is another question also based on the same thing. You go through this question. It is very easy to do this question. Okay. So you can get all the example files in this tiny URL GCT DBMS. So that's all. Thank you.